Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Bloop and a Blast podcast. My name is Big Sexy. I am the Bloop. There it is. Look at that right there. If you're watching on YouTube, you've seen it. You've seen it right there. His name is Hughesy, aka the Blast. Yeah, you're seeing that.
Shirt.
You're seeing that shirt. Seeing that little face. This guy's
Are
the
these
favorite.
for sale? Are these for sale now?
We could work something out. We could work
what do
something
you
out.
reckon?
I reckon
Maybe?
we could. A little bit off the
Okay.
top for the boys. We can make $2.50 a shirt. Make some money out of this mug. Hey,
Clip 'em.
welcome to the podcast, guys. This is a big one. This is the ABLCS. It's the championship series. It's coming this weekend. And this right here, we've got a couple of guys that are going to be playing in that series. And they're here to talk to us, to tell you all about what they're feeling, what's going on, what to expect this weekend. And before we get too much into it, Hughesy, because we're going to talk about it a little bit later with some picks and a lot of things, we're going to throw right to Jason Matthews from the Canberra Cavalry. And then after that, we got Kieren Hall from the Perth Heat, our guy, the Wizard. So this is going to be awesome. We appreciate the guys for jumping on with us. And we're going to throw straight through it. And then we're going to come back and we're going to tell you all about what to expect for this weekend with the big ABLCS. But here it is. It's Jason Matthews right here. Here we go. We've got our first guest of the championship playoff. It is none other than Jason Matthews from the Canberra Cavalry. How you going, mate? How you feeling?
I'm doing good.
You excited?
Very excited. Excited for the boys and excited for the Canberra Cavalry to get to the final. Finally.
Mate,
Yeah.
I mean, looking back, early in the season, I said this to Jim, early in the season, you guys were hot favourites.
You called it.
The last
Mate,
few weeks. No, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about that. We'll talk about that later. How my stupid calls, but the last few weeks it was touch and go, right? Like it was crazy, and like here we are now. We've got a Perth Canberra championship series. I mean, what a ride it's been for you over the last few weeks of this season. Can you talk us through just that, what it is, what it means? Obviously, we've got an idea of what it means, but yeah, talk us through all the emotions that you guys have gone through in the last few weeks.
I was we didn't know who had faith in us, going into the Sydney series, but all the boys are like, whatever happens, just enjoy it, take the moment in it. And then one thing led to another. The ninth inning Cavs came through.
Mate,
that's when we
what an
score
inning.
all our runs. It's the first inning and the last inning. That's
Mate, what an inning. That was a great inning. I want to rewind it back a little bit, and I only want to touch base on this because Jim brought it up last week when we were very fortunate enough to talk to him. He said, last few weeks hasn't gone, I guess, the way that he wanted to, right? And we fast forward into the last game of the season where, I mean, anything could have happened. Melbourne win that game, you get knocked out. How does it feel? Fast forward, come back, win game one against Sydney, which was unbelievable. I think you were down. I think the count was 1-2 with 2 out. All of a sudden, you had a sniff, score 3-1s, win a ball game, roll into Saturday, win a ball game into the championship shoes. I mean, mate, that is crazy, right?
Crazy.
But
crazy
as Jim said, anything can happen. Just dive down into a little bit deeper for us, the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I guess where you at now.
It was just. So I guess it started in Brisbane,
Yeah.
Every game really counted for us, and we didn't really come out swinging. We struggled a little bit to score runs beginning of the game, especially in the middle of the game. But like Jim said, we're never down, we're never out until we could just keep playing baseball to the last out. And then obviously we leave it to the last game, which we shouldn't have done. We just like to do it hard, I guess. But last game, boys came out firing, won that. Banking on Melbourne and Perth series, but everyone just stuck together, believed in each other, and keep playing for the last out, 27 outs.
Mate, absolutely right. And Jim simplifies everything, and I think that's why I love him so much. He's such a cool, calm, collected character, and makes a great manager. Coming to last week, going in, we'll say underdogs, right? You guys are. You knew it, right? And that's fine. You can play that card. There's nothing wrong with that. The expectation was on Sydney to come through in that series. You guys didn't do too much in the first game. And then, come out in the last inning, they make a pitching change. Colin Wynn comes in. He's been fantastic the whole year. Did you see something within him as a team, or was it just a bit of luck, a bit of baseball? What happened in that ninth inning?
I think it was just a bit of baseball, a bit of luck to it. 2 outs, and the big captain came through, busting out a really hard 90.
Is that his speed?
He showed his speed. That guy's speed demon. But no, little chopper up the middle, and you just see him start booking it down the line just to give that little life to the boys. Once he did that, everyone knew, like, oh shit, Cap's getting ready. Yeah. Cap's busting it out for the boys. He wants to like win this right here, and the boys just followed through with it.
It's interesting, mate. It's interesting, mate. It's interesting. We talk about Perko being a quiet leader, not the in-your-face type of guy. By example, lead by example type of guy. He showed it there in the 9th inning, right? He's been catching and busting it, as you said, hard 90, beat it out, bang, bang, play at first base, gets called safe. And then the flow-on effect from there, the energy in the dugout would have been fantastic. Another base hit. Next minute, you're like, hold on a second. Can we pull this off, right? And then you guys do pull it off, rolling to, how was the energy in the clubhouse after that game one? I'm sure the boys were up and about, rolling, wanting to play game 2 the next day. Like, how was it in the clubhouse after that game?
No, I would say it was lit, because it was like, who believes we believe? It was like that attitude. It was like, these guys were supposed to come out and kick our ass, but we stayed through, stayed strong, came out and won the game, came out on top. And
I've got one more question. Sorry, mate. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
We're all thinking it was like, we're 7-1. We're 1-7 against these guys, and now we're like 2-8. So it's like we can do that. We can do it.
Perfect. Let's go, mate. I'll bring one thing up before I throw it over Big Sexy. The second part to that question was, and Robbie mentioned to us on the podcast that, you guys have some songs, post-game songs, and throughout the season it was kind of building and building. How long or how many songs has it gotten to now? And I guess, what was the song that you guys walked into?
That was my question.
If you
well done.
I'm sorry.
That's great. I love it. We're aligned. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. He picked the win song for us.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was, but I wanted Rain on Me by, I think it was Ariana Grande. That was one of our win songs, and then it went for 2 win songs, so 3 to 4. And then now we just start playing them before the games, and then if we win after the game, it's the same thing. It's that baseball superstitious stuff. If there's like 4 or 5 songs now that we listen to, I forget the name of them, but I remember the one song that I requested, so.
Nice.
Better keep Jason happy, mate. Defensive player of the year. Congratulations, mate. That's
Thank you.
awesome. We've been watching your plays the whole year. It's funny how once they get posted on Instagram, everyone starts shooting them around and stuff like that. But we talked about it last week, the keys to the success for Canberra. And for me, it was like the spine, as everyone up the middle, Perko, your pitching staff, into you guys up there, Khalil and yourself, and then obviously in centre field. So to be able to have a double play combination and a guy like Khalil up the middle, like, how does it, man? How do you guys work together? Did it just click straight away, or did it take some time to get to know what each other does?
I think it just clicked right away. He was like really easygoing, and I felt like he was the type of guy that could just like watch and learn what we do on a daily basis, but then you like watch him take ground balls and stuff, and you can figure out who has range and like which way they move better and which way they don't. And then that's the way we start shifting. And then it just clicked just like that. Like after the first series we had, it was just like bang, bang, bang. We're like, okay, we're on the same page. And then now it's just having like a daily routine every day and sticking to it. And then that's when you can trust each other on double plays and like what kind of feed you can give, bad feed, big feed. I always tell him at second base, give me a big target, because sometimes I'm gonna just throw it there. And then he's just that type of guy to just adjust to how I play, and then you also just back and forth on the same page. Yeah.
He missed a bit of time in game 2. Is that right, George Khalil? He was injured. How's he going?
It was on we're an infield line drive right at me by my cousin, Clayton Campbell. And then we tried to turn 2, and I think he just busted his ankle somehow.
Yeah, right.
But this week, asked him how he's feeling. He's feeling pretty good, hopefully. So hopefully he's back for these 2 to 3 games.
Hughesy, have you ever had an injury going into like a championship or like a semi, like a big game? I know the answer already. I know there's nothing like you're playing. But like,
Just fucking,
how was that?
Just fucking strap it up.
Can you give us
strap
like
it
a
up.
bit of an idea as like a game that we could look back on, like a big game in your career maybe that you nothing really? Okay. Yeah.
No, I do.
But there has been.
You know,
Okay.
There's soft tissue injuries, there's groins, there's calves, there's everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like sore this, sore that, sore shoulder, sore elbows. Like everyone's always sore, right? I don't give a shit if you're playing a 40-game season. Like I guarantee, like through those 40 games, you might be feeling good for like, I don't know, half a dozen, 10. The other 10 or 20, you're a bit tired. The other 10 or 20, you're tired because you just got off a flight and you got to play the next day and you had no sleep. Like baseball's tough, especially the ABL, especially when you're flying from Canberra over to Perth. And I know the boys are flying out tomorrow, so they should have a good amount of sleep. Sorry, tomorrow, which is Thursday for when we post this. So today they're flying out today. So you know it is one of those things where it doesn't matter how you feel. It's a championship series. Nothing's keeping you out of this. You know, you just do what you got to do to strap it on to play a game of baseball, right? The question I have for you, mate, how was it? You know, did you guys have a bit of a chat with Clayton after the game? Like, how was that between you two guys throughout the season? And, you know, Saturday night into Sunday was a little bit of like, you know, condolences, but hey, we're going to the ship or what?
Yeah, like after the game, we shook each other's hand. We're like, hey, good series. Good year, actually, for him and me. But
yeah, absolutely.
We both just forgot about the game, and I just told him how many great at bats he was taking because he was barreling up a lot of balls but not getting a lot of hits. And he gets frustrated a little bit, and I just tell him, bro, that's baseball. If you barrel one, you're gonna miss one and get a hit. That's why it's a give and take game. But we just went out to dinner. We went out to lunch the next day and just started shooting the shit.
Yeah.
But he had a really good series, really good season too.
He had a great season.
Yeah.
A great season. And it was good to see him over there in Sydney and, you know, playing well. I know he would have got up and about for Brooke. You know, he's very energetic, Brooke, and he finds a way to draw the best out of all his players, not only just the local guys, but anyone that he brings in, American guys, you know, all the imports and stuff like that too.
It's always fun playing against him too, because when we get on first base, we just talk about what he saw in his previous at bat, talk about what I just saw, and then they're like, what you're sitting, what he's sitting, what you're feeling. And it's just that's always the fun part once we get to see each other on the field. And then we just banter a little bit. He gets on second base. I'm like, good swing. Like, we're trying to beat them, but I'm like, good swing, cuz. That was a good swing.
How many years have you guys been playing against each other? Or did you guys play together at some stage? Like, what's the past look
so
like?
So the only time we played together was 2021 with the Tortaras. And then this was our first season playing against each other.
Yeah.
But this is how I grew up playing baseball with him. They were the ones that got me into baseball over there in Australia. But then, once I took off with it, that's when we started keeping up with each other's careers, and then eventually played together, and now we're playing against each other. So,
it's unreal
and fun.
I mean, Hughesy, can you, and to those listeners that maybe aren't super aware of Jason's story, can you shed a bit of light on that? Because I know it's a pretty cool one. So are you able to sort of take us through that?
We were up at the academy together, right? Many years ago, right? And I was there as a coach, clearly not as a player at this stage. Jason's slightly younger than me. And, you know, a couple of the Kiwi lads had come over and were a part of the academy. And you went off to college after that, mate.
Right after.
Right after that, you went off to college and spent a few years in the States playing. You can hear the little twang in that accent, mate. You got to go get that Kiwi. You got to go get that Kiwi twang back, brother. And mate, talk us through. Obviously, you went to indie ball and then you signed, mate. The last few years must be crazy for you. You know, what does the future hold, mate? You know, how was playing professional baseball for you last year and the years? You know, like, talk us through it.
Just like. Playing pro ball has been fun. You know, like I never really failed in the game of baseball before my first year at JUCO. And then I never really failed until I really got to my second year in pro ball. Like, I was exposed to good pitching, and elite scouting report. So that really opened my eyes and made me really think in depth about what I should be doing in my daily routine and then learning approach and all that. But I feel like that's been the biggest eye opener with me and learning curve is approach, learning the game, learning how pitches can get you out, exposing my weaknesses and working on them, but also maintaining my strengths, which is defense. So it's like trying to combine defense and hitting and just become one great player. But Pro Ball's been really fun to me. Coaches have been fun. White Sox have been fun. And they're teaching me a lot, which I like.
It's crazy, right? Like you get thrown amongst the wolves. There's so many players in Pro Ball. There's so much scouting these days and so much, I guess, data. Do you ever get caught up with that type of thing, with the data, like with all the content that they're feeding you, or are you pretty level-headed and been able to bring in the good stuff that you want, all the information that you need, or do you get a little bit swamped with the information?
So that was my first year. All the data and information kind of bombarded my thought process while I was playing the game. And then this year I went into the season saying, I know what I can do, and I have just an approach already, and then now I'm gonna just start taking in what I need, and just keep letting that other information go that I don't need. And then and then this year was really consistent with having an approach and taking in all the information that I need, and then throwing out the rest. So it's like keeping it really simple to my strengths, and then what the pitcher has, and like what their strengths are, and then combining it together. That was probably the main thing that I learned this year, was keeping it really simple, but having the right information that I needed. For that game.
Filtering through it, right?
Yeah. Because sometimes it can get a little too much if you don't really understand it. So you just gotta take in what you need and then throw away the rest.
Absolutely. And how did that transfer over into this season? You had a great season this year, offensively and defensively. Made 12 doubles. I think you banged about 4 homers. Did you hit any in Sydney, or were they all on the road? Did you get one out in Sydney?
They were in the road and one at home.
I got one at home. Okay, it is so hard. It's so deep there. It's ridiculous. I hope one day they bring that fence in. Mate, fantastic year across the board. What are the keys, I guess, to success, to beating the Heat this weekend? What are and you don't have to give anyway too many secrets or anything. A couple big, mate. A couple of inside information.
A scoop would be nice. A scoop
no
would
one
be
listens.
Nice.
Yeah, no one. Andy doesn't listen to the podcast at all. All the boys, mate. What are a couple of things? What do you got for us?
I just think having a really good approach, because I saw last week these pitches were pretty dialed in. I went back yesterday and watched the game on the starting pitcher they were about to face on Friday. He was pitching really well. So I think for me, it's getting. I know what I'm going to be getting, and I would say it right now. I'll be getting the breaking ball, so I'm going to be looking for that breaking ball up and in. Yeah, and then having a good approach, driving it back up the middle. So I guess for us to be good this week, just having a really good approach, taking every at bat like it's your last at bat, winning every pitch, making every play, and just have fun with it. Yeah, I know it's going to be a big week, a lot of fans there. I just say you just block it all out and have fun. Just play the game.
Mate, you've got the right attitude. It's an emotional time, and I think the players that have the ability to check their emotions, don't not be excited. That's fine. Be excited. Be up and about. Be happy to be in the moment. But that energy can get you can get tired. You can constantly be up for the whole 9 innings. I think the team and but having the ability to be able to come in, switch the brain off for a moment of time before you're at bat, where you sit in the dugout, have a drink of water, shoot the shit with your mate, switch off quickly before you switch back on. I think that's one of the keys, especially for a young team and a team that probably like Canberra. And I'm not telling you how to play, mate, or do anything like that. But like, I feel that I think the boys will be up and about early, right? And I think if they settle in, mate, anything happens in the finals, right? And how much I love the Heat, and they're all my best mates and all that stuff. But mate, I'm so, and Sexy especially, is so excited the fact that you boys are in the championship series this weekend, because at the start of the year, nobody said anything about Canberra, right?
Oh, no.
And that's fine. Like, we can be honest about this.
Yeah.
And I think to go through the year and play the way you guys played, to play the way you guys played against Sydney last weekend, it's freaking wicked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Sexy has been on you guys since before Christmas, and I'll give him his props.
Yeah.
And he'll go for it, and he'll pick you this year.
Nah, I know what you're trying to do.
I
know what you're trying to do, buddy. It's not going to work. We'll get to the picks later. No, but it is the thing. I did say that early on and whatever, and I spoke about it fucking ad nauseum last week on the episode. I tell you what, I listened back to it. I was like, Jesus Christ. But, and as Hughesy said, Sydney and Canberra coming into the season had no fanfare at all. There was nothing about it. It was, oh, yeah, cool, whatever. And look at what happened. You guys, both teams went and flipped the switch. Everyone just went, oh, okay, oh, right, yeah. Oh, well, surely this will collapse. No, it didn't. As we've said, a few dicey weeks later on, but you're in the championship game now. Like, that's all in the past. Like, good luck. Like, no one else is playing. You and Perth. That's it. So someone's got to win the ship. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And I mean, like,
doesn't matter how you win.
I tell you what, man. Watching that replay of the skipper coming down the line, I've watched it a few times since the weekend, and it's just, that's the kind of shit that you need, right? Gets the boys up.
Can we get a clock? I want to go get a clock on that. I might do that. I'm going to get a speed.
That's a bang play.
The second at home was like just like that.
Another one. All right, I'll do that too.
It was a little RBI line drive up the middle. The second at home, booking it. Yeah.
That's clutch. Like, that is Captain Clutch stuff right there. And imagine if that gets banged out.
Did he give you guys a little bit after the game, Big Robbie in the?
Oh yeah, he comes up to me and goes, "Yeah." He was like, "We're going to the ship, boys."
Yeah, I love that.
And we were like, "Yeah, Cat." I love calling him Cat. I love calling him Cat. That's my name for him. He's the captain. I call him Cat.
You got him, and you got a guy like Jim Bennett that we spoke about off air. I mean, after our episode last week, I'm happy to say this on air. Don't worry about it. After this episode last week, I said to Hughesy, because I hadn't met Jim, and I said, "Oh my God, he is just one of the coolest cats that I'd spoken to." I mean, for me, people that I got to speak to this season, you'd be talking about John Deeble, you'd be talking about Brooke Knight, you're talking about, especially in that managers thing, right? And then, of course, now
all
Jim
the
Bennett.
managers,
all the managers has been cool. Don't get me wrong, but just guys that I was like, oh man, talking to Jim, like, what a cool cat. I mean, you got guys like that, and you got Robbie Perkins steering the ship, man. I tell you what, it's and as Hughesy said, the underdog card, it can get the boys going. Hey, no one wants to back us in. Right. Yeah, well, good luck. Watch this. You know what I mean?
It's always like no one believes in you but you.
Yeah. That's it, man.
I have to say real quick, it was such a smart decision and probably a tough one for Canberra, to be honest with you. And this is probably something that you don't think too much of, but just playing 3 games in Perth instead of trying to fly out the next day and then play buggered, Saturday, Sunday. Whoever made that decision, I'll say I commend them for it. I know it's probably a really, really bloody tough decision to give up a home game on Friday night to then fly to play Saturday, Sunday. But it's probably the hardest place for both teams to get to. Indirect flights, you got to have a second flight to get to Perth both ways. So I do thank the people at Canberra on behalf of the playing group for both teams because it would have been bloody tough to do.
I am over the moon.
The fact that you guys are fresh. I just love the fact that you guys are fresh, right? Like it would have been such a shit feeling for 3/4 of that team on Saturday, flying out, getting in, having 0 sleep, all that bullshit, and to play a championship game with players like that, underdone. I just have to say, smart decisions were made. thank you to the people that made those decisions. At least we got 2 teams. And I know it's in Perth. I get that. But 2 teams that'll be ready to rock and roll.
I don't mind playing in Perth. I like Perth.
Yeah.
I'd rather be playing there than, what you said, travel back.
Well, hey, travel sucks.
Well, I think you're going to be lucky, man, because if you guys are playing at nighttime, I'm looking outside right now, and it is.
Can we get a weather check on the weekend?
Yeah.
What do we got?
I heard it was supposed to be really hot there.
It's stinking hot.
44 last week over there in Perth, mate. You know, it's not like that in Auckland, is it?
No.
And I'll tell you what's been weird, Hughesy, and you've lived in Perth longer than me, but it's been weirdly humid the last couple of weeks, like strange, which I'm like, hey, what's this? Supposed to be dry. But look, hey, I think it's not going to rain. Promise you that.
We're in for some good weather. For some good weather.
One quick question. I know you're probably going to let you go, brother, and get your beauty sleep. But do you wear white cleats at all?
Yeah.
All right. Just to let you know, there might be a little bit of paint on the grass over there in Perth, so you might just want to be mindful of that when you go into the outfield. Some greenskeeper may have painted the outfield green just to give himself a little bit of a better look. All right. So you might just have to take those scrubbing bubbles just to keep them nice and clean for game 2 or 3. All right.
Are you legit?
That means we got to start scrubbing our pants too.
Are you legit? Is this a scoop or what?
This is a scoop against one of my best mates. That's all. Just giving him a little bit of grief. That's all.
There you go.
Oh, you love to hear it, though. You love to hear it.
Yeah,
that's unreal.
Nah, he's got it looking beautiful, mate. He'll be striped up, looking amazing. And I think the good thing is, mate, the fans will come out as much as I know the fans would have come out in Canberra, but they're well supported there for both teams, mate. They're good fans in Perth. And mate, I have to say, sorry, Sexy, go.
No, I just want to throw this in there. While you're talking about the fans, I noticed, because I'm a fan, and I'm allowed to be in the fan groups. I noticed a really cool conversation this week, and this is sort of where we're at, right? One of the Perth fans has said, look, obviously we love Perth, blah, 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 and I'm paraphrasing a little bit. They said, but you know what, at the beginning of game 1, we understand it's a home game for Canberra. Friday night will be a home game for Canberra as far as you will bat last. They said maybe we should give them like a little bit of acknowledgement, a bit of a round of applause or something like that before the game to acknowledge that, hey, you know, you guys, no, this is coming from the fan group, man. No, I'm telling you. And I was like, you know what? Tip of the cap. Like, that's cool. You know what I mean? I like that. I like that. It probably won't happen, so don't get your hopes up, Jason.
You might have 10 people. You have like 10 or 15 people over there just giving you a couple of golf claps, you know?
Don't get me wrong. I want to see it get hot. I want to see it get heated, right? But I like that. Like, that's nice and respectful, and that's kind of cool. So
if I can tell a quick story, and I think I mentioned this in the past, right? We flew into Canberra many years ago, back when you were just a pup. Yes, just a little pup, right? And, you know, Canberra took it to us. They beat us game 3, right? And I may have, you know, upset the apple cart just a little bit during the year. And so on top of our dugout, there was, I reckon, 1,000 blokes just smashing the top of our dugout.
And it's really loud, huh?
Oh, my God, mate. It was echoing in there. And there was no chance we'll win this game. We were down by a few, right? Game 3, we're like, oh, can we just get out of here, right? I was just like trying to plan out my exit, how to get through the crowd to the change rooms, because I knew that I was just going to get freaking bombed by people. They're banging the roof. Hughesy, you fucking suck, Hughesy. And I was like, yeah, okay, you know, I deserve this, right? I was the person that antagonized them throughout the year, right? And it was freaking wicked, right? The support that organization, those players, the fans showed the players was fantastic. I love that stuff, right? That's me. Like that's not everyone needs to love it, but I do love that because I know how much that means to the fan group for the organization and the fact that you guys want it. So don't, Perth Heat fans, don't just remember.
Whoa! Don't incite a riot.
Remember this.
That was directed at you, mate. Not the rest of the team.
When Canberra come into town, you don't have to be nice to them, right?
You can give us the shit.
Yeah, give them the. Actually, don't. Maybe just be quiet. Maybe they like that. Maybe Jace wants that. Maybe that gets him up.
Oh, I embrace that. I like that.
Hey, Jason, real quick before we let you go, brother. And I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyways.
Who wins this weekend?
Canberra in 2 or 3? What are we doing?
Canberra in 2, man.
Canberra in 2, just straight sweeping now? All right.
Doing it. We said 4 games and let's go.
All right.
4 games and celebrate. That's what we said.
Mate, that gives you more time in in Perth, just to get after it too.
Yeah. And my family's going to be there, so we're all going to celebrate together.
Who's coming over, mate? Who's coming
just over? My sister and her lot, and then my half-sister and her lot too.
That's awesome.
That's wicked. Yeah.
That's so
Big Sexy.
Exciting.
Make sure you get down and say, can you make sure you come down and introduce yourself to Jace, please?
Yeah, I don't really. I'm terrified of poking my head in at the wrong time because I'm a bit stupid. So yeah, but I'll try. I'll be around before the game on Friday, and again, probably not a great time, but I'll be around all weekend. Pretty exciting, doing some things around the grounds. That'll be a bit of fun. But I'll poke my head in and say hello and introduce myself. That'd be awesome. But
sweet.
I might even come stick a microphone in your mouth at one point through the game. You never know. You never know your luck.
You have to rephrase that.
Yeah. We'll work that out. I could edit it out, but I probably won't. It's a good lull.
No. Stick it down his throat. Stick it down his throat.
I said stick a microphone in your mouth. That's normal. All right. Anyway, look, Jason, we appreciate you, mate. And look, honestly, good luck. You've had a stellar year. Canberra's in there. And look, anything can happen. And this is it. This is the championship series. This is it. This is a chance to take the Claxton Shield. Good luck, brother. Have fun.
Thank you.
Good
Appreciate
luck,
it. Go Cavs, go. Come on.
And here we go. We've got the wizard, Kieren Hall. He's on the podcast. Kiers, welcome, mate. We're so pumped to have you. It's a big week. You've got the Claxton Shield coming to town. And this is a chance to win it at home, mate. How are you feeling? Are you ready? Are you jacked?
I'm jacked. I'm juiced, you could say. Ready to get active with the lads. Cheers for having me, boys. It's been a quick turnaround. You go from maybe a couple of weeks ago thinking we're going to creep into finals here, and then we go take care of business in Adelaide, and now we're hosting all 3 at home. So the energy and the vibe's pretty high around the lads in the clubhouse. But, I'm juiced. I'm ready to get active. So, yeah.
Mate, you guys, the last 4 weeks, 4 weeks, right, has been ridiculous, right? Your travel schedule is being off the charts. It's one thing that is being always discussed as part of a Perth Heat team is there's no excuses. We have to travel to win. You have to be able to go on the road and come back and play the next weekend. But to do it 4 weeks 3 weeks on the trot, be able to go into Adelaide, beat Adelaide, to be able to roll back into Perth and play Canberra in the Championship Series. Mate, you went the hard way. How's it feeling? What's the vibe amongst the group going into the weekend?
It feels good. I think Hawley says it a lot, and the other lads. When we got to finals, it's like more now just having fun, And last week, I think we had a lot of fun. There's no need to put extra pressure on. We've done the hard part, which is making playoffs. And then can't win it unless you're in the dance. So we made it to the dance, so now it's just time to have some fun and keep trusting what we've been doing for the last probably 4 weeks and just see what happens.
When Hawley said, once you're in the dance to have some fun, do you think he took that on board personally when he said it? Do you think he took a little slight part of that when he said it, that he actually might try to have some fun? Because he obviously clearly doesn't have fun. He's like angry. He's angrier than me, and that's hard to be angrier than me.
Is he?
What? What have we got on that, Kiers?
I know he cracked a few smiles on Saturday.
Did he?
And he's been up and about, so he's feeling juiced. So.
4 from 4 with a bomb will make you smile. Yeah,
exactly right. So there's a reason why he smiled, and probably the only reason is because he got 4 knocks on the week, and nothing to do with the Heat getting into the championship.
Hey,
series.
whoa!
He's
a
like,
team guy.
He's got 4 knocks. Of course, he's a team guy. We love Wally, and one day we will get him on here when he learns how to speak. We'll have him on this podcast. But back to Kiers, mate. Coming into the weekend last week, playing Adelaide. What was the vibe around the team like? What did it sit back? How do you guys look at the series and approach the series last weekend?
Just from the pitching end was just taking care of the core dudes for Adelaide, and then also just not letting the top end and bottom end guys get away from us to be on base and us get damage done, if that makes sense. I think we did that well. But I think the overall, like, I guess, feeling was just like, just get it done. Like, it's been 2 years now. I mean, I wasn't part of the first year we lost, but last year, obviously being around that was probably a lot of, I mean, driven like revenge / like ticker amongst us as a group. It's just like a lot of ticker. And I guess, yeah, just like playing for one another is what it felt like on the weekend. And if you didn't get it done, someone else was going to get it done for us. So, I mean, that was kind of the general consensus. And even like in the first game, like we got that early lead and that just felt like, I mean, to be fair, I'm a bullpen arm. I didn't even maybe realize that we had 27 batters retired, but I felt like we were just going to win. Like just that feeling of winning was in. But I mean, he threw very well, but we got it done. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, look, I mean, far out, man. Like Wellesley just shoved and like lost the game. Like I'm not saying that to be a smart ass, but it's like just crazy to think the numbers, and then TK gets a hit, Mateo comes up and just hits a moonshot, and that's it for the game.
Yeah.
What? Like, and yeah, amazing. But
Kiz,
feeling of winning, wow.
Kiz, did you go into the clubhouse on Friday night and say to the offensive team, boys, we had you tonight. We need more from you tomorrow. Like, come on, let's go. Give us a little bit more than 2 knocks. Can you help us out a little bit?
No, Friday night I was just smashing a couple of lollies watching the boys get to work. So I was kind of just thinking in the back of my head, it's kind of probably my time to go.
Day.
Tomorrow's my day. I probably won't keep my mouth shut until I go out there and maybe go put up a couple goose eggs. So I took care of that. But yeah, I wasn't planning on saying much.
It was a great weekend of baseball all around, both you guys and obviously Canberra and Sydney. If we sit back and look at it, and there's a lot of people out there, not us, but a lot of people out there would have said, look, Sydney v Adelaide, that's what the championship series is going to be, right? And I'm not trying to stir anything or anything like that, but that's what a lot of people probably looked at the series. You guys going to Adelaide, a team that's beat you the last couple of years, won a couple of championships, have got a dynasty in a way going. I know they lost this year. Doesn't mean anything that they're a great all-round team. You guys, baseball's baseball, right? As we talked about earlier, you guys beat them. Canberra goes into Sydney, picks up game 1 win somehow, right, in the ninth, rolls into game 2 with momentum, wins game 2. It's kind of like very similar. Like you guys played similar games. I know different storylines and score lines and stuff like that, but very similar. Did you guys ride momentum from game 1 winning into game 2, or is that how you guys rolled into it?
Yeah, no, we definitely took the momentum in from Friday night, but we also had a 6 p.m. flight on Monday out of Adelaide. So I think a lot of the lads were kind of like, let's get it done. And,
what is that? To get it done so you can enjoy Saturday night, Sunday in Adelaide? Is that what we're trying to say here, Kiz?
I got on a plane Sunday and got home and got to get ready for the week, So I think that definitely was a driving force. But I think, we just rode it and we believed and whatnot, and just boys came and played. So, yeah.
Hey, there's no incentive greater than early knockoffs, mate. There's no better incentive than an EKO. You know what I mean? So let's go get the job done. That's awesome.
The biggest thing about winning, like I would have just stayed and said, babe, sorry, no early flights out. Got to stay in Adelaide. Sorry, can't travel. My bad. And then just go on a bender for 2 days. No, I'm joking.
Job's not finished, mate.
Job's not finished. I'm just joking.
I was trying to get brownie points this week.
Hopefully we get it done.
Yeah, my man. My man.
I might go missing, so it's
all right. Bank it. Knowing...
I
hope
you don't go missing, mate. We can't lose. No,
do it.
Too important.
No, do it. Go MIA, mate. Just pop up. There's been one time I've missed Mad Monday with the Heat one time, and it's when I lost to Canberra. When we lost to Canberra, and we lost in 2 games, and we had that flight out on Monday, right? So we lost in 2, so that means Saturday night, bad night for Luke. Very, very bad night. Into Sunday, even worse day for, I get excited when we win, right? And I'm very excited. I am like the biggest depressed person you ever meet in life, and we lost. And so I went on a 2-day depressed, angry Luke. And I was very, very fortunate to have a lot of good friends on the team that got me back to Perth, which wasn't very good. And I missed Mad Monday. The one and only time was when we lost to Canberra, and I missed Mad Monday. Don't miss Mad Monday. All I'm going to say to you, brother, when you win it in 2 games, don't miss Mad Monday, all right?
Kids will be fine.
Yeah, I'll be right.
Far out. I mean, it's pretty interesting. I think one thing you talk about, like especially for the back half of your season, like for the Perth Heat, is the amount of travel that you guys have done. And I mean, as a fan, like sitting here and straight off the bat, I have to say this. I'm going to get this out of the way because I've been meaning to talk about this. I'm sorry that I said what I said around Christmas time about Canberra and Adelaide. Okay, because and I got to get this out. All right, I got to get this out in front of kids because he's a Perth Heat representative. You don't know how sad I would have been if freaking Adelaide won last week. Like, what the heck? Like, I'm sitting here texting Hughesy every time, like, yeah, the boys are up. But literally, publicly, I turned around and said, oh, yeah, Adelaide's going to win. Like, you got no idea, man. All right? This sucks. But anyways, I apologize. And I'm so freaking glad I was wrong, right? But you guys, the amount of travel you guys have had to now have a home game from a fan's perspective, it's like the boys are coming back. And they got not just 2 games. Like if you guys had have played Sydney this weekend, which is again sort of another option that I, in reality, like you could have picked. You're thinking, all right, so we got the boys on Friday night, like that's cool, and then they go to Sydney for Saturday, Sunday. But the reality is now we got Perth Heat at home all weekend. Let's go! Like this is huge, man. And the fact that you guys have been on the road for so long. The vibe amongst the boys has to be huge to have that chance to take it away at home. I mean, man, that's just got to be awesome, right?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, it's massive for like just our friends, family, fans, just to be a part of it. I'm excited. This Friday is going to look like a normal Friday for me when we have home series, which is 5 a.m. wake up, head to work, jump on a roof for 3, and then head down to the ballpark and hopefully win game 1. But no, it's good. I like it. I do like playing at home. I like it working as well when we play at home because, I mean, I guess when I wake up, I'm more worried about not electrocuting myself than what I'm going to do on the 8th. So once I get to the baseball, it's finally like turn off work brain, and then I'm like, all right, now I can have some fun. So
Hughesy was talking about this earlier with Jason Matthews, and he was talking about like, and here we go. Watch Hughesy flame me. But like I've had it in grand finals, you get that buzz, you wake up, you're like far out, like a week ahead. You're like, you can't stop thinking about it. You're like, this is gonna happen, blah, 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 blah. But you get yourself built up to this point. I have a little pre-game thing that I like to like listen to music on the drive to the field, right? And then sometimes I won't do it if it's too big of a drive because for that reason, what you talk about, Hughes, if you get too amped, in the back half of that game, you're going to be, so I feel that, man. Like going to work, like trying to treat it as like somewhat of a normal day has to be a pretty big advantage, Imagine if you're stuck in a hotel room just thinking about all the things that can happen, I don't know. I think that's big.
I have to say, okay, and there is something to do when you have, I guess, history and you have experience and you have the ability to dive back into past memories to be able to get you through current, I guess, times, if that makes sense. It makes life a lot easier. TK, Wazza, like Hawley, Bodge, Jesse, these guys are rolling into like another final series. Keys, mate, like you guys have been there before, right? I know they haven't been able to get the job done the last few years, right? And I know they've lost, and I know it's a different look of we need to win one, right? Like it's gotten to a point where it's like, no, we need to win one so it's a different mindset than what Canberra have. Canberra are up and about excited. Perth are like, no, fuck, we need to win one, right? So they're the two, I feel, storylines heading into the weekend. It's like that. People, experience will dive in, and I'll always take experience, but youthful, up and about, like don't care, like we're just
free
playing, we're not free rolling.
Yep.
That's scary too, right? Where they meet at the end, who knows who's going to win, right? And of course, I want to see the Perth Heat win, but it's exciting to see. Kids, now that you're being in the league for a little bit longer, right? Last couple of years, like. How does that roll in for you? Like, don't give me this straightforward defense answer. Like, what are you looking at? What do you draw on for emotion? the ability to calm yourself down. Like, what do you do when it comes to like game 3, 9th inning? You're in there because you're in there. What happens?
I think, well, go backtrack a little bit. Last year, most of the time, like 6 up, 6 down type of guy, definitely early in the season, and then maybe crept my way into a couple of 4-run lead games, and still kind of was a bit juiced and a bit all over the shop. And then this offseason, talking to AK and whatnot, just like how to like settle it down a little bit and just come ready, was definitely the goal. And then actually starting, before China, what I was telling me, maybe like get ready, just maybe do an opener. So maybe just a couple innings here and there. And then getting those starts in China, I think, has been the biggest difference, because it was, I hadn't started in 4 years, and Lordy's coming up to me going like, hey, you want to start against Japan? Like, when's the last time we started? I was like, oh, not long ago. Like, I got this. So, all right, sounds good. You'll probably start. I was like, sweet. And I was like, damn. Walked up to Sheriff and like Kai Jackson. I said, mate, what do you do before I start? Like, because I normally just play catch for like 90 feet or like 100 feet, and then just like roll out a little bit and just call it a day. But then I was like, all right. And then I was like, all right, I better not overthink this. So I was like, stuff it. Just going to play cool. Anyway, threw a bullpen like I would, like pretty much like I was going in from a 7th inning. So I only threw like 15, 16 pitches, and Lordy was like, yep, sweet, feel good. And I was like, yeah, we'll figure it out. And then went out there, like did pretty well. And then I was like, shoved. So I was like, all right, I might get another crack at this whole starting gig. And then got another gig in against Netherlands. And then I said to Sheriff, I was like, man, like, I don't know why I'm not that calm out of the bullpen. Like, obviously you want to be like, you're way more juice coming out of the bullpen, and like, but like, I was still obviously juice, like playing on the world stage, you know? So like, I was like, why can't I just like regulate that out of the pen? Mm-hmm. So then I was just kind of that feeling from China of like being juiced, but like keeping it under wraps was just my goal this year at Heat. And then now when I run out there, you normally see me like looking into the distance. I think Jesse always thinks I'm like trying to stare at him or something, but I normally pick up like a word or something. I think on Adelaide it was Ryder. One of their sponsors was Ryder. So if anything, I felt like a bit too many breaths or like a bit G'd up, I would just look at Ryder, read Ryder, and then maybe read it backwards, and then I'd just get back on the mound and just regulate it. But I normally pick a word. At home, it's guest. I don't know why it's guest, but on the scoreboard, I just read guest and then do a little neck thing and then jump on the mound. And then I know that's how I've been able to do it. But definitely, like, I like pitching G'd up, but it's way harder. So like just getting that happy medium is like what my goal has been this year. And I think I've done a decent job of it so far.
That's powerful, man. That's huge. It's your thing. That's the thing. Like, that's what we talk about it. You know, kids at whatever they're doing, whether they're pitching or they're hitting. It's like, yeah, we can give you advice and things like this and when you're trying to learn the game. But like, it's kind of also, you get to a point, you sort of work out what works best for you. You know what I mean? And then it's like, hey, you can use this in your own game. And I think that's awesome.
Over time and experiences and learning and being, you know, a little bit more in depth and understanding yourself a little bit more and what takes it to get you to the level that you need to get to. That's what I hear from Q. It's like you want to get G'd up to a level, but you don't want to topple over. You want to be at this level so you can still compete and still throw what you need to, and do what you need to do to be able to get outs, right? And that's what I took from that, man. That's amazing information. That's freaking cool, dude. That's been your, I guess, adjustment in the ability to compete and pitch and throw and get outs and stuff like that. And that's such a massive jump forward since the last time I got to watch you pitch, mate, and the time that we spent at Morley. It sounds like you've elevated yourself to the next level, mate. And it's special because I want to see what happens in the future. And I know that you just got announced from the national team, mate. So congratulations for that. That's freaking cool. To be back on that team. I know you pitched at the under-23s, which you just spoke about, but to be back on that national team, I don't care what tournament, where you play, the time you get to spend in the national team colours is very, very special. And you get to go away in a couple of weeks. That's next, you know, the first things this weekend. Rolling into this weekend, mate, there's going to be a lot of people out there watching you play, a lot of friends, a lot of family. How do you go handling that? I loved playing in front of my family and friends. It's something that was good. The coolest thing for me was to do that. And you got 3 games in Perth with your family, mate. Tell us, what's that mean to you?
I mean, it means a lot because, I mean, going to Perth Heat games as a kid, I mean, you go with your family, you know, and you go with your friends and whatnot. And now it's like I'm out there with friends that I watch baseball games with and watched my teammates play as well, like was and whatnot. Got a few signatures of his in my back room here, but I mean, it's cool. It means everything. I try and block it out. Like, Mum's already been asking about tickets and whatnot, and you know, Nan and Pop. But I sorted them out and whatnot. Try and get that sorted, and then kind of when it's game time, I kind of just tell the folks, tell the friends, just my partner, tell them, hey, it's go time. Let me try and get a bit magical here. Try and get wizard going. So, but yeah, it's good. It's good seeing the lads out there. My mates get up and about, a bit rowdy, not being a baseball background. So they love it. I don't think they know what's fully going on apart from a few of them, but they love it. So that's good.
It's unreal, man. That's just and like from I haven't even known you as long as those guys, but like from our times together at Club Ball, you love seeing it. You know what I mean? Seeing you guys, like all you guys that, and even some of the guys that don't play at Morley that I get to talk to and whatever. Like, it's just sick. Like, it's just so good to be a part of, and you want to see you guys do so well. And like, honestly, like having it at home, man, fuck, it's gonna be sick. Like, it's just, I'm getting goosebumps already, man. Thinking about it. It's gonna be awesome.
What's the key to the success for the Heaters this weekend, mate? Like, what is it? Like, I have my ideas and opinions on it, but like, what you as a pitcher, like, what do you sit back and look at and go, this is the key to us to have a success this weekend?
I mean, I feel like it's pretty similar to Adelaide, just avoiding their impact players and probably trying to keep off Upshaw off the bases because he's rapid. Matthews can move a little bit too. So, like, I mean, just trying to keep their guys off the bases that can do damage on the base path, them off, pretty much avoid damage when there's runners on. I mean, and just control the running game. I think we did a better job last week at controlling the running game. I think that was a big focus of us. Looking at a bit of Canberra's game last year, they did a bit of damage on the base paths when they're at second. So I think just doing a better job as that as a collective at them second will help. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, we're not going to change too much. I mean, we've got our plan, bit of ticker. I mean, I don't know, just go have some fun. If I'm being honest, I'm probably not going to change much and just try and have that ticker. I mean, sometimes ticker is what's going to get us over the line. So, and execute. So, I don't know.
When you're driving to the field on Friday and you know that the boys are just on their way to the game, you know, what are you going to do to, I guess, you know, calm the boys down, fire the boys up? You know, is there a certain thing that you turn to that, you know, you might do occasionally for the lads for the weekend?
I know what you're getting at. I know what you're getting at. I actually haven't had that many stories this year at Perth Heat. I kind of I was thinking of doing them last week, but then I was like, is there a need? They didn't need them, you know? Like, the lads flight over. The boys the starters got there early. I was like, saw them when we got to the hotel, and they were in fine form.
Did they welcome you peasants that flew in after them? Did they at least get up out of bed to come and see everyone downstairs?
They were still in PJs and whatnot when we pulled up, so it was nice rolling in. I went and saw I went and saw Hawley and Jess, and they were.
Hey, can I ask a question? How did you guys draw straws? Like, what happened? Was it like a veteran card, or you guys are starters? You guys fly? What was it?
I mean, it was kind of just like talked about. Like, we probably have few flights going out earlier. I mean, I kind of just assumed you'd just send your starters over, so I didn't really.
Give us a little bit more than that. Come on.
That's it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you were a rookie and you were starting Hughesy in your shoes, I feel like you as a rookie would be like, "Oh, I'm starting. I need to go." I don't care if you played 10 years. You're not starting. I need to go. I mean, I'm a bullpen arm, so I was ready to work on Thursday, and then get on that early flight Friday with the lads. So,
Hughesy would have been like, get me the penthouse. Like, I want private, like private charter
Thursday.
flight.
Well, I was talking Thursday. Get me out there Wednesday. Like,
boys, I need to take BP. Like,
2 days. I need 2 days.
I'm Hughes. I'm the blast, mate. What are you talking about?
So,
Exactly.
there wasn't much to it, honestly. I think, it was just starters, get over there and go settle in, get some good sleep. So, and then no excuses.
Or did the boys get out a little bit that night?
I think majority of them got good sleep. I can't talk for everyone, but I mean,
he's too good. He's too good at this. He's not going to fall it. He's not falling into your traps, Luke.
Just do a forward defense every single time I go for something. He just like plays like a Steve Smith. No run.
He's good.
No run.
I
was getting my sleep in, so I wasn't keeping tabs on the lads.
Oh man,
all big boys.
And also, what are you going to do? You going to snitch the boys on Bloop and Blast? Come on now, that's all we're about.
No one listens to the Bloop and the Blast. Just the whole of Australian baseball. That's all.
Well, mate, look, it's. I mean, another thing that we're no doubt we're going to talk about it in a minute when we sort of go through what happened last week and the next week, but. How's Tucker Smith just come out and just go shovey on Friday night? I mean, that was just sensational. I mean, to be honest, the pitching staff really just outdid it. Like, and not taking anything away from the hitters, but you guys just went out and you just went, hey, this is it. This is what we're doing here. And try and follow this, boys. We got you. You know what I mean? Like, it was just good, man. Like, it was unreal. And I mean, to hold a lineup like Adelaide at that, I mean, far out. Hats off to you guys. I think, it's always funny, right? Like you kind of expected that to go 3 games, that series, really, because you guys were, so evenly matched. Not to say that it's still quite evenly matched with you and Canberra this weekend, but like looking at it, you're like, man, and you guys just got it done in 2. Like what? Like that lineup? Like man, that's huge. But on the reverse of that too, like Canberra got it done in 2 against Sydney. It's like, whoa, what do we got here? Like this could be pretty exciting. So yeah, I don't know. It's just. What do you got? What do you got for the boys? Come on, you got something for Hughesy? You going to give Hughesy a little story time, a little something? You're just going to keep it wrapped up.
I don't know what you want from me, but Tucker was unreal. Game 2, he was unreal too. We call him Money. That's his nickname. So if you want to start using that, Sexy, if you get any action
brother.
on the weekend, we call him Money.
Why Money?
Because money.
Korean
Come on, dude. Be better than that.
Someone had to set it up.
We just call him Money. But I've been pushing for him to change his song from Gangnam Style to For the Love of the Money by the by the OJs. So money.
Oh.
So now I've been trying to get him on it, but
surely
he mustn't be understanding where I'm coming from. But it's a good song. So
what about the Shane McMahon entrance? Shane O'Mac. Here comes the money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, something like that.
There's one for him.
There's like possibilities. There's avenues that this guy can go with.
Is there avenues for you just to go and find the media person to take care of this weekend for him, or is that just going to throw him off?
I think I can do that.
I mean, Gangnam Style's working for him, but I mean,
what
would I know?
Still the One by Shania Twain? No? Okay.
I told him when he gets to KBO, just run that one out there.
Yeah.
So back to serious shit.
I'll try to lock it in.
Sorry, guys.
Locking it back in. I feel the key to success this weekend is the bullpens. For me personally, honestly, it's just how I look at it. Starting pitching, bullpens, is the biggest thing. You're gonna have yourself Stephen Moore, Tyler Beardsley, Bowser, Tarantola,
was.
I'm waiting. That's my last name. That was my last name.
That's my throwing partner.
I'm trying to name everyone before I get to Wadza. Okay. Bales is on there. And then they got Wadza, right? So last weekend, Wadza stepped up massively, I feel, in a situation that needed a veteran presence and a person that had been there before that you can throw the ball, that's just going to be able to step in and step up. Now, he had the opportunity to be on this podcast tonight. Unfortunately, he couldn't, so now I've just got to destroy him for it. So game 1, he pumps the end last out, right? Pumps him, turns to the dugout, sorps Sorps the dugout, right? Sorps, right into Adelaide's dugout, right? And, wins the game for the boys, punches, big tickets, rolls into game 2, goes bang, 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 learns from the mistake that he made the night before, the sorpsing Adelaide's dugout, which he swears he didn't do, which I'm just 100% fucking with everybody, and wins out. Like, mate, honestly.
It's this one for me.
Yeah.
It's this one when he gives it the ring.
Emotion,
it wasn't the ring.
Emotion.
Oh.
It's not the ring. He's got happy heaters on his glove.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, it's happy heaters. It's happy heaters.
I thought he was saying it's ring time, baby.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Happy heaters.
It's fair.
Happy heaters.
Okay. It's a special time, right? You guys have experience. As I said, you got experience, you got youth, you got everything. Perfect time for everything. Been able to hand a ball to Was It in the game. How do you feel at the end of the game? And, you got a guy like Was It coming in, or a Tyler Beardsley, or a Moore who's a closer in the States. You guys have got lockdown arms there at the back end of the bullpen.
I mean, it's good. I mean, if I haven't thrown them, maybe kicking feet up a little bit. But no, it's good. I mean, like, they've been there a bunch of times. Tyler, I mean, normally starting, but last year in Indy Ball, he was closer. And I mean, he was locked down there, and he's been locked down all year. I mean, didn't win reliever of the year for nothing. So, I mean, it's good. It feels good. And then he's just got that ticker. I mean, it's cheesy, but he's got it. So, it works. So, and it's just, like, also good from me, like, because, I mean, one day I get the bloody night. So, it's just good learning from them and how they go about their business.
That's probably the question to me, like, you learning, understanding. It might not be your time to get the third out in game 3 this year, but learning to see what the boys do and how they go about it, when the time comes, it's going to be special for you, right? Yeah.
And I think, like, and then going back what we were talking about earlier, how, like, not, like, trying to play out everything that's going to happen. Like, Beardsley's not in the bullpen, like, in the 9th inning, I'm going to throw this pitch if this guy comes up. Like, he's probably smacking some lollies, and, like, chilling and maybe doing, like, obviously he's doing his bands and getting everything ready and whatnot, like, going about his business obviously properly, but it's not like he's mentally draining himself. Is the same, like, loves to laugh, but, like, I think that's the big thing, like, learning, like, have fun, enjoy the game, enjoy your friends, enjoy being around everyone, but, like, when it's your time to bloody strap it on and run across that white line out of the bullpen, like, it's go time, and out there means everything, so just, like, leave it out there. It's cheesy, but, like, I mean, that's just kind of how we've been doing it, so it's been good.
I love it. That's fucking awesome.
Well, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Oh, well, look, I mean, out of that, like, where do you go from here? Out there means everything. That's fucking it. Let's go. Like, Kiz, this is it, man. This is another opportunity to take it home. Let's do it. Good luck this weekend, man. We appreciate you. We thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man. We really do. And fuck, man, it's just, let's go. Let's do it. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be cheering it on. All the best, man. All the best.
Appreciate it.
Good luck, brother.
Cheers for having me, boys.
Mate.
Love you.
Good luck.
Peace.
There we go. There it is. We're talking to Jason Matthews, talking to the wizard, Kieren Hall. Mate, this is it. This is the championship series. Who would have thunk we got here, Hughesy?
Can you remember how quickly this has gone? Like, it has gone so quick. We just said, hey, let's do a podcast. And we, like, tried and failed amongst ourselves for a few weeks. And we said, nah, stuff it. Let's just put it out there. And then we fast forward, and now we're at the championship series. How great has the ABL season been, mate?
It's been unreal, man. It's just, like, on so many different levels. Like, I've loved how, like, competitive it's been. I've loved all the stories. I've loved, like, but a part of it, like, to be honest, man, like, one of the coolest parts for me as, like, a fan and whatever, like, is that a lot of the guys and the players and the people that we've spoken to, like, listen to the podcast. Like, and that's not like an ego check thing, but it's just like a cool thing. It's like, oh, wow, like, really? Like, and I mean, it helps when one half of the podcast is Luke Hughes. So thank you for that. But, the other part, man, like, it's just cool. Like, and it's such a cool community that we've got. So I think it's been really special, man. It
has been. And I think that people have enjoyed just someone talking about baseball, like us, right? Like, and we're pretty honest with it. Like, I'm not going to beat around the bush. You're not going to beat around the bush. We enjoy to have a good time. We enjoy to bring some life to it. And look, we'll be better next year. If you haven't liked it, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll be better next year. We've learned a lot. I know I've learned a lot in and around it, and I hope my vocabulary has gotten slightly better.
Hughesisms will never get old. It's awesome.
Oh, no, shocking. And I can't wait because I reckon the bloops will just get better and better. The names, how hard have the names been? And don't worry, we'll talk about this, I think, a little bit more next week. The biggest thing this week is Championship Series. Anything can happen this weekend. And I think that's the most special thing about it. Like, you've got two teams that if you looked at it, and I guarantee if you put a poll out on SEN or put a poll out on any sports radio station, they would have probably have said Adelaide v Sydney this weekend. That's what they probably would have said.
Yep.
Right. Now, for us, I went Perth, you went Sydney. No, you went Canberra.
I went Canberra.
I went Perth.
I went Canberra and I went Adelaide. Yeah.
So we're in against them, right? And both of us, we've got a team in the finals, and to see Perth and Canberra in the championship final, it's not what everyone expected, right?
Yeah. It's not. And this is the other part of what I was talking about before, like this cool season, right? We spoke about it earlier, right? No one had Canberra, no one had Sydney preseason. Yeah. Right? Everyone's like, yeah, whatever, cool. And you were banging on about Melbourne, right?
Yeah.
Melbourne's not here.
100%.
No shade. Like, Melbourne's just not here. Yeah. And where has this come from? Canberra to come out, and again, no disrespect, right? Imagine if Brisbane won one more game, or Brisbane got in, and we're talking about a Brisbane Perth, right? Like, what? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how tight this thing has been, man. It's good for the league. It's good for the league overall. But it's just crazy. And now, the other side of that too, Hughesy, is our picks, right? I know it's been off, whatever. I sort of said this earlier about the whole thing about picking rah-rah. It sucked, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. It sucked having to think Adelaide was going to...
No, but it's not that fun in general, because you sit back and you're like, I pick these guys, and you're like, well...
Yeah. And then you meet such and such, and you're like, I like this guy. It's just terrible. But it was... But also, for me last weekend, it sucked. I was texting you, we were texting all throughout those games, and I'm just like, dude, you should be like, dude, you picked Adelaide. What are you doing? But I had to. I had to say it. I had to stand by what I threw out there. But I tell you what, couldn't be happier for the Heat. And to be honest, as far as the story goes, couldn't be happier for Canberra. It's just a cool story, bro. It's sick. Absolutely. So I guess
it's special though to sit back and see, because I think when you dive into different things a little bit deeper than just watching the games on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and when we sit there and look at it, I feel in a deeper lens, right? You understand what it means, and we get to talk to players behind the scenes and all that stuff. So we get inside knowledge. But to move forward, to win last weekend, to move into the championship series this weekend, it's freaking special, man. To be able to go into a championship series, to be able to potentially win a championship, to potentially create memories that last the rest of your life, right? No one can ever take that away from you. Losing championships sucks, right? And I've been very fortunate enough not to lose too many with the Heat. I've lost a lot for Morley. Thanks, TK. Appreciate you. But it's those special moments that you can sit back and use. It's not now. It's in 10, 15, 20, 30 years time that you get to share the memories that we got to spend together. So when we were young players. So for me, that's what this is all about. The Heat, they need a win. They've lost the last few years. Canberra, whatever happens to them, right? They can create some future. They can create some relationships. They can create a happy memory. Fantastic. Heat need to win. This is my directive. Heat need to win. Canberra just rolling in there. So there's two different directives for me.
So dangerous, though. And we sort of touched on this before. Canberra are free-rolling, man.
Yep.
And there's nothing more dangerous than when you're sitting there. Hey, I bring it back to playing poker, right? You're playing with some guy that's just free-rolling. He's just up on all his money. He's dangerous. He ain't he ain't worried about losing any money. He's just like, hey, everything's a win. Let's go. So and let's not let's not take away from how good that Canberra side is. I think if you look at the ABL Instagram, it was posted on Wednesday earlier this week, right? How close these two teams are, the tail of the tape. Go and look that up. Go and have a look at how tight this race will be.
Do you want me to give you a little shout? I'll give you a little
Yeah.
shout. 258 Canberra Cav to 262 Perth Heat batting average. You know, like they're right there. That's exactly the same, right? No, sorry, that was the pitching average. You know, so we look at offensively, we're at 249 to 258. There you go. That's the hitting average. I apologize. So it's very much, I mean, what's that, 11 points or 9 points or whatever?
It's basically
very
the same. It's one hit, isn't it? You know,
basically the same. Like, you know, the Heat have a few more home runs. You know, they've got a shitload more strikeouts, but you know, it's so similar. And then the pitching, sorry, my bad before, but the pitching, we've got an ERA of 4.27 from Canberra, and we've got an ERA for 4.72. You know, so like it's just so similar. Like everything's so close together. They're two great ball clubs coming at it, going at it.
One thing, and we'd be a bit remiss if we didn't sort of shout out a few of the guys that obviously shoved last week, and we sort of spoke about it earlier. You know, Lockie Wells went out and just did his thing, which is like that game like gets lost a bit in the shuffle because like Adelaide didn't win, and like the dude just gave up 2 hits, a bloop and a blast. Ha ha ha! The irony, but a bloop and a blast. That's it. You know, and honestly, then went and 23 batters in a row, like what? Yeah. And then just says like, nah, I'm gonna keep the ball. I'm gonna throw this whole damn game because that's how much it means to him. You know what I mean? Like that's just sick. Like, it's just
Do you know how many pitches he threw in, by the way?
How are you looking at it? Tell me.
Yeah. So
over 100 or not?
No, it's under 100, which is actually ridiculous, right? In a 9-inning ball game. So he gave up 2 hits, punched out 9, okay, through 91 pitches. So he averaged 10 pitches an inning, which is so freaking
crazy,
right? That's so outrageous. It's unfortunate but that's baseball. You know, it's baseball. Right, we sat back and we talked about, you know, the Heat getting up and getting out of some jams, and then you look at Canberra and they came back in a game, which we'll touch base on a little bit, but it's just one of those things that it's just baseball. Wazza came in, threw like 7 or 8 breaking balls in a row and punched Spencer
huge
out.
Huge shout out to Tucker Smith, who just absolutely shoved too. Like that was unreal. So as far as, you know, that goes as well, Juan just come out at like, yep, whatever. Like everything, crazy. Sorry, you go.
So if you look at it, 6 innings tuck through, 6 innings, 5 hits, you know, 3 punches, 1 home run, you know, like that's a great start. Like if you walk out of there, you're like, man, that's a great start. To be able to have Tarantola came in, who, you know, came into that team late. Stephen Moore, for me, got the hardest outs in the game, personally. To be able to come in there and get 5 outs and turn it over to Wazza with a right-on-right, you know, opportunity, and just, as I said, threw like 6 or 7 breaking balls in a row, and was fortunate enough to, all jokes aside, he didn't sort that I get. That's just me being a smart ass to everybody, but I 100%.
I love watching Waz get as pumped up as he gets. Bro. Like him and Hawley giving each other those chest bumps when they get those outs. Like, I'm glad Hawley's wearing equipment. Right, they're not pulling those punches, brother. Like they're hard. Right. And look, I mean, you know, you talk about one Wells brother, you got to talk about the other one. I mean, Alex comes out and has a bit of a rough one, let's say, over the weekend, but huge news for him for this season, the season of his return. Right, comes out and wins a Helms Award, which congratulations. I mean, it's just unreal. You know, obviously Sydney. Shocker, like a bit of a shocker. Let's be real. Like we've spoken about so many times already tonight, but you know, no one saw them going down in 2 games, right? To Canberra and you know, but hey, shout out to Brooke, shout out to all the boys there. I mean, you look at that season and you look at the fact that, hey, we've said it so many times, no one had Canberra, no one had Sydney coming into the season, and then they come out and do that, win the minor premiership. You know, sure, of course. And I know they're all going to be saying the same thing. Like, I'm sure you would say the same thing, you know, job's not done, whatever. Like, that's cool. But hey, let's look at that now and go, you know what? This is a club that hasn't had a lot of success in a while, right? That's a really good building block to start from. I think caps off to those guys. I think it's unreal. Sure, they're going to be dirty, but hey, maybe that's that chip that they need. Like that little extra nugget for them for next year. So big round of applause for Sydney.
They're building.
Big fan.
Like they're building, right? Like
yeah,
great year. Unbelievable season. Change, I guess, in culture is probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
The belief that they showed, the understanding on when, your backs up are against the wall, how to win a baseball game, all that stuff will just continue to, I guess, build for them. And, if they went through the season this year and played as well as they did and won a championship series, it would have been unbelievable, right? They didn't. But let's not get lost on the quality of a year and the direction that Brooks taken them on. I think is very, very special. There's a lot of young players there that, would probably sit back at the end of the season and be like, nah, we should have won it, right? And that's good. I like that. And I guarantee they would be feeling that. But they are going to be better off now, going through last weekend and all that shit and building on this whole Sydney's culture and Sydney this and all that bullshit that comes along. Stuff that next year. The guys are like, nah, not next year. This ain't happening next year. Brooke will roll in again. He'll put a good team together again. These players will be better off. They're looking, I'm excited for them because these young fellas will be ready to rock and roll next year.
Yeah.
As for Adelaide, man, they're just good, right? It just didn't happen for them. Like, there's nothing else to say. Yeah. They're a freaking good baseball team. They're going to be a freaking good baseball team next year. They're going to be there next year. Like, they're just a great baseball team. It just didn't happen.
Watching that game, that one run game on Friday, and then even Saturday, like at points, I'm like, there was and forgive me for getting it wrong, right? But like, I'm texting you. We were talking. We were talking all through this whole thing, but there's a situation. J-Mac comes up, and it's just got written all over it. This is J-Mac's opportunity. This is where it's J-Mac, like him to really put his stamp on things, and it didn't happen. But it's like, how many times have you seen that? You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh no, like so. As a Perth Heat fan watching that game, I picked Adelaide, but as a Perth Heat fan watching that game, terrified. I was. I was like, oh my God, no. Please, let's get through this. Boys got it done. But huge shout out to Adelaide as well, man. Like, what the heck?
Nothing changes next year, mate. They're going to be a ridiculously good team next year, and they'll be thereabouts again next year. And who knows? They'll probably play for a championship next year again. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, they didn't get through, but whatever. They're still freaking good, and we know they're good, and everyone else in the league knows how good they are. So just wasn't their weekend. That's what I put it down to.
Yeah, they ran into a red hot Perth Heat team that had been inconsistent all year, right? And one side would be going, one side wouldn't be, right? They put it all together. And, hey, that's the Perth Heat right there. Like, that's the team that you look at and you go, oh my God, like, how do you beat that? Well, there you go. It's right there. Well, hey, Hughesy, we're talking about the championship series, all right? Our picks, all right? We know what's going to happen this weekend. I know you tried to lead me down a veteran path. You were trying real hard, but it ain't going to happen, baby. Earlier on, you were trying to say I was going to go Canberra. Hey, man, it ain't happening. I'm not doing it.
How do you know?
That's what
that means.
That's what I mean. We're 11 all, just so you know. We're 11 all. Yeah. So because
I thought I had one up.
No. It was tied. It was tied going into last week. You got one for Perth. I got one for Canberra. Yeah.
I thought it was one up. I thought today I was thinking about this going, he's going to have to pick Canberra.
No.
Because I'm one up.
Well, even if it's tied, I will double check, but as of recording this right now, I'm very certain. And if something happens, I'll edit this out. If you're watching this, I was right. Okay, if you're watching and listening to this, I was bang on, which is great. It's just more stuff for me to do.
What I'm doing? I'm picking Canberra this weekend. Is that what's happening?
No. Well, I was thinking about this. Okay. So there's a couple of ways we can split this pig, right? So we go. We're both going to pick Perth Heat. No disrespect to Canberra, and to be honest, I love Jim. He's awesome.
Yeah,
can't do it. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be in the thick of it, and I'm not doing another weekend of that.
Yeah.
But do we say how many games do
Two.
we have a games? Okay,
Two.
you're going to say 2?
Yeah, 2.
Interesting. Do you want to have it on a games market, or do we want to have like a pick their score for one of the games?
You're the boss, mate. You run.
No,
this
I'm
podcast.
opening up to you. Like I'm throwing some really good ideas out here. What do you want to say? We have to pick the score for Friday night, because I think Friday's going to be. We can say Friday's probably going to be a close one-ish, maybe not. Or how many games? Like if you say 2, I'd argue that maybe it's a 3-game. It's a 2-1, but I'm also happy to pick a score.
I feel like we're going to get tab, dabble, some type of sporting agency on top of this.
Well, hey man, if you're watching, we are open. We're still open to sponsors. All right, these awesome shirts don't pay for themselves, boys. Let's.
But if you want one, hit us up on Blue Blast Podcast.
I won't tell you where you can buy them yourself, but I'll add a few dollars onto it. What do you think? Do you want to go pick a score for Friday night nearest the pin?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. That. Okay, Friday night, game 1.
Is it Friday night?
Well, you pick. I'll let you pick, because do you want to go Saturday?
Who do you got winning on Friday night?
I don't know. Well, I do know. I was going to say Perth Heat 5-1. Okay. So that gives you wiggle room.
Nah, I wouldn't do Perth Heat 5-1. I don't think they're going to score. Mahoney.
Yeah, but it's the playoffs.
He's been nasty.
Never forget that I'm the Oracle.
I'm going to go 3-1.
Friday night?
I think it's closer. It might even be 2-1, to be honest with you. I'll go 3-1.
Remembering Friday night, Canberra are the home team in Perth. If that changes your decision. So that's just trying to give you all the information like I did with Melbourne all year, and you still picked Melbourne, but that's okay.
I just soldiered through it, didn't I?
So you've got a pretty good under there. Like you've gone all right, but so 5-1 for me. That's the exact score. And look, if we end up here next week, and it's still tied, we'll work something else out. But there you go. That's for the bickies. It's the Friday night.
And how many games are you winning? How many games you got with them winning in?
So if you said 2, that can be the double tiebreaker. So you said Perth Heat in 2. I'm going to say Perth in 3. I think we're going to Sunday.
Oh, okay. So if Perth Heat win in 2, I'll win.
Well, or
yes.
Yes. But what about the exact score? I was doing like a double tiebreaker.
No, if Perth Heat win in 2 and I pick 2, which I'm picking 2, I win. If Perth Heat win in 3, you win. That's easier.
You reckon? Okay, we'll do the games then. We'll do the games.
Hundo, that's way easier.
Do you want to have a sly fiver on the exact score on Friday?
500 smacks? Yeah.
No. Come on, we're not all on that Hughesy money. Come on now. This is humble guys.
No, we'll do the scoreline on Friday night. I like that. 5 smacks.
5 smackers? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to go 3-1? I'll buy you coffee next time I see you, for sure. I'll give you a whole bag of coffee, brother.
Give me a bag. I was going to say you work for a coffee business. I'll get 1 coffee from you. It's been amazing this year, and this episode has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed it, and it doesn't stop here. Even after this weekend, we have got so much cool shit coming at you after this. I can't wait to debrief next week. That's going to be cool to break it down, to look at it, whatever way it goes. Everyone knows how passionate I am for the Heat. Everyone knows how passionate you are too. But we love Canberra and what they've been able to do this year, and that's cool. That's freaking cool.
It's been sick,
cool
man.
Baseball storyline.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you touched on next week, you touched on in the future. So to let our listeners know, hey, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere.
I reckon we've got more content post season than we've got set up. But
weirdly, we're gonna be busier in the off season, which is not right. So I don't know how much we're gonna give away, but look, we're gonna talk to some pretty cool people. Let's just say that much. Don't tune out just now, just because baseball's gone. I think there's heaps more meat on the bone as far as that. But next week, let's start there. Next week, I'm going to tell the people what we're doing, Hughesy, and we're going to do it. It's the awards night. Bring your tux. If you listen to us on a Thursday and you got to go to work, wear a tux to work, man. Wear a tux to work. Listen to us. It's going to be the awards night, the very first Bloop and a Blast Awards night, it's going to be huge. It's all happening here next week. There's going to be some serious ones. Hughesy's going to give us Hughesy's team of the year. Hughesy's team of the year. Yeah, the unadulterated team of the year. He's going to let it fly. Short fuse Luke Hughes is not just going to be a segment. It's going to be a whole bloody episode. The awards night next week. It's coming at ya. Mate, love your work. It's been an absolute pleasure. You've dealt with my stupidity quite well. But guess what? You can't get rid of me that quick, mate. We're going to keep on rolling. It's going to be a bunch of fun. Thanks again, mate. And look, let's go Perth Heat. I know we're both, the uniform of the podcast.
That's great. Love it.
Uniform of the podcast. If you're listening to this, you're not watching it, Hughesy's showing off the Big Sexy shirt. I've been wearing this Hughesy shirt for 3 days. I even went down to the local Northbridge Woolworths wearing this, and some like backpacker chick, she goes, "Oh, is that Luke Hughes?" And I went, "Yeah, you heard of him. You know the blast, you know." Yeah, but anyways. No, look, it's going to be a lot of fun. And look, if you haven't already, I'm going to plug the socials. I'm going to do it. I've done it every damn episode. But if you haven't already, go and check it out at Blue Blast Podcast on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, which I think we've now got like 11 followers. What? We'll be monetized in no time. If you're not, watch this episode on YouTube, bro. You can see a heap more. We talk to everyone. There's a bunch of content on there too. And look, we're going to try and keep bringing you content, some different stuff as well, coming over to YouTube. So keep your eyes out for that. We appreciate you guys. This is it. This is the championship series. You might see us pop up in places that you might not expect. That's all I'm going to say. Make sure, if you're not at the ballpark, if you're in Perth, get down to the freaking ballpark. Let's go. Let's pack that bad bitch out. If you're not, get on Baseball Plus, get on Streamer, go and enjoy it. It's the championship series. It's here. It's right now. Let's effing go. Hughesy, you want to tell these people what's up?
Get down to Empire Ballpark and watch the Canberra Cavalry take on the Perth Heat.
There it is. That's it. We appreciate you guys. Take care and enjoy. It's the ABLCS. It's right now.
Going back. This ball's back.